Sora, hey! You look so calm, like you just finished a long, peaceful nap.
Alex, hi, it's good to see you. I wish I just finished a very boring meeting about spreadsheets. My brain feels like it's turned into a soft piece of bread.
Spreadsheets. Oh, I hate that word. I had to spend 4 hours today looking at numbers and filing papers. My body feels like it wants to run away.
I know you hate sitting still. It makes you sad. You need to be outside doing something exciting.
Exactly. This job makes me think about my favorite job, the one job I absolutely loved and never wanted to leave.
Oh, that's a great topic. I have a favorite job too. The one where I never looked at the clock.
We must talk about this. We need to remember what made us happy. This is much better than talking about spreadsheets.
I totally agree. Let's start the big discussion about our best jobs right now. You go first.
Okay, Sora, what was your favorite job? Was it working with books?
Close. My favorite job was being a curator at a small local history museum.
A curator? Wow, that sounds very serious and smart. What exactly did you do every day?
My job was like being a detective for old things. I took care of all the objects. Old clothes, old letters, old tools. I had to research them and write their stories for the public.
A detective for objects? That is fascinating. So you got to touch things from 100 years ago?
Yes, that was the best part. I held a tiny teacup that belonged to a famous mayor, and I read a love letter written during a war. When you touch these things, you feel a strong connection to the past.
That is so cool. My favorite part of my current job is getting a free pen. Your favorite part is reading a love letter from the 1800s. Big difference.
My office was very quiet, and it smelled like old paper and clean wood. I spent hours alone just reading old books and putting together the puzzle of someone's life. It was so calming.
Quiet is good. But did you have any excitement? Did you ever find any secret treasure?
Maybe not treasure, but I found one very strange thing. It was a small wooden box that had "Do Not Open" written on it in big old letters.
Oh no, you had to open it. What was inside? A magic spell? A secret map?
I waited 1 full week because I was nervous. When I finally opened it, I found nothing. Just one very old, dry, tiny piece of bread.
A very old piece of bread? That is the funniest thing I've ever heard. Why did they write "Do Not Open"?
Maybe it was a joke, or maybe that small piece of bread was the last thing they ate during a difficult time. We don't know the full story, but it was a great mystery. I loved that feeling of wondering.
So the best skill you needed was patience and being very careful with old, fragile things.
Yes, very careful. I almost dropped an expensive glass bowl one time. My heart stopped. It taught me that every object has a story, and I was the storyteller. I absolutely loved that feeling of importance.
That job sounds beautiful, Sora, but I would go crazy from all the quiet. Now tell me about your favorite job. I think I already know the answer.
You probably do. My favorite job was being an adventure tour guide in a famous mountain area.
Yes, the job where you wore shorts and a backpack every day? What was the main activity you guided?
We did everything. We went kayaking on the river, mountain hiking, and we set up camp and cooked dinner over a fire. My job was to make sure everyone was safe, happy, and having a huge adventure.
Wow, so your office was the entire great outdoors. That's the total opposite of my dusty, quiet museum.
Exactly. My day started at 5 a.m., but I didn't care. I needed strong legs and a loud voice to talk to the group. I was paid to be physically active. I felt so strong and free.
That is amazing energy. What was the most fun you had in that job? Was it the kayaking?
The kayaking was great, but the most fun was setting up the tents at night. Trying to teach 5 new people how to build a waterproof shelter in the dark was always hilarious.
I can picture that. So you were the boss and the teacher?
Yes, I had to teach them how to read a compass and a map. I had to teach them the basic safety rules. The main skill I needed was problem solving.
Problem solving? What kind of problems? Getting a flat tire on your bike?
Bigger problems. Like one time we were hiking, and one tourist accidentally dropped his phone off a cliff. I spent 30 minutes trying to climb down a safe path to find a tiny piece of plastic.
Oh no. Did you find it?
I did. It was completely broken, but I found it. The tourist was very happy that I tried. My job was never boring. It was always a surprise.
I think your job was exciting, but also very stressful. You were responsible for 10 people's safety. That's a huge weight.
It was a big weight. But when you stand on top of a mountain with the group and everyone is smiling and tired, the feeling of success is incredible. It makes you feel like you can do anything.
I can see that. That job made you feel powerful and connected to the earth. You are not just sitting and looking at spreadsheets.
Never spreadsheets. I was counting the stars at night. That job made me feel alive.
So, Sora, let's compare. You had the loud and fast job, and I had the quiet and slow job. We are opposites.
Totally opposites. You loved the dusty smell of old paper, and I loved the fresh smell of wet earth after the rain.
We're like two sides of the same coin. Your job was about the future adventure, and mine was about the past stories. So, the big question. If these jobs are our favorites, why are we sitting here talking about spreadsheets?
The biggest, most boring problem. Money and stability.
I knew it. The curator job was amazing for my soul, but terrible for my bank account. The salary was very small. I couldn't save money for a house or for a nice vacation. I needed a more stable job.
I had the same problem. The tour guide job paid based on the season. In the summer, the money was great. But in the winter, when the snow was deep, I had no work and zero money. I had to take a job that paid the same amount every month.
So we traded happiness for security. That's a very adult and sad decision.
It is, but now we have the security. We need to find a way to bring the happiness back.
We must. Maybe we can combine our two jobs. Alex, the adventure curator?
How would that work? I guide a group up a mountain and then make them all stop to read a very old love letter.
No, you could be the museum security guard during the slow, quiet hours. You are strong and brave.
I like that idea. I could wear a cool uniform and protect the old tiny piece of bread.
And I could be the tour guide for the quiet groups. I could lead people around the museum and tell them the secret, funny stories about the objects.
That is a much better idea. You're an expert storyteller. Your voice is calm. Mine is too loud for the museum.
You could teach the museum staff outdoor survival skills in case of an emergency. How to build a tent inside the ancient history room.
Now we're talking. That is a much better use of my skills than looking at number tables.
We need to find a way to get back to the things that gave us a sense of purpose.
I agree. The best thing about my curator job was the feeling of knowing something important. My current job makes me feel like I'm just moving paper from one box to another.
And my best feeling was being tired and having sore muscles at the end of the day, knowing I had moved my body, not just my mouse.
We need a small step. I will start volunteering at the museum one day a week.
That's perfect. I'll start guiding a small hiking group on Saturday mornings. We have to keep the favorite jobs alive.
We do. Let's promise that our favorite jobs will not just be memories. We will make them a part of our future.
I promise. I don't want to live in a world where the only excitement is a clean spreadsheet. I need the smell of the pine trees.
And I need the quiet mystery of the past. We are the masters of our own careers.
Sora, this was the best conversation we have had all month. Thank you for helping me remember how much I love the mountains and the kayaks.
Thank you, Alex. You made my boring afternoon much more exciting. I feel motivated to go look at an old object right now.
Do it and send me a picture of the funniest thing you find.
I will. And you send me a picture of the biggest, loudest kayak you can find.
Deal. I hope your day ends with a good book and a good story.
And I hope you get outside for a long walk before you go to bed.
I will. I need to move my legs. Talk to you soon, Sora.
Bye, Alex.
Bye.